Hey, welcome back to Recruiting Insight, where we connect you with the most successful recruiters, hiring managers, and innovators in the real estate industry. Today we'll be joined by GINA VERBANAC. GINA is the Director of Corporate Recruiting for Berkshire Hathaway Home Services, The Preferred Realty, and Stauffer Realty Services. For those of you who don't know, GINA's company is the second largest independent Berkshire Hathaway franchise, and they were recently named the 27th largest real estate brokerage in the U.S. by RealTrends. GINA's company has more than 2,000 agents in 59 locations, and they're spread across Western Pennsylvania and Northeast Ohio. And she has a whole bunch of recruiting to do to keep this machine moving. Good morning, GINA. Thanks for joining us today. And I know our listeners are going to be super excited about hearing about the work that you're doing day in and day out in the job that you have.
Well, thanks for having me, Ben.
Yeah. So before we get started, I want to start with a quick story, and this happened last December. I called up GINA to talk about some recruiting issue, and she seemed a little bit in a hurry, and she seemed like she was kind of focused that day. And I said, GINA, what's going on? And she said, well, I'm really trying to get to 500 hires this year, and we've got 11 people in the funnel, and we're going to get there. I really want to get there. And so when we set up for the podcast, I said, hey, by the way, did you get to your 500 hires? And she said, absolutely. I got the 526 hires in 2021. So great job. And I know many of the people that are listening today really are not only going to be amazed by that, but also want to hear some of how you get there each month. So first of all, can you tell me a little about your company and about your role in the company?
Absolutely. Prior to 2018, we were Berkshire Hathaway, the Preferred Realty. And in 2018, very exciting, we merged with another broker, Northwood Realty, which at that point in time, we were now one of the largest brokers in southwestern Pennsylvania. Mm-hmm. It was very exciting. We grew overnight. And then Tom, who is it's managed and owned and operated locally, always in the forefront. In 2020, we then acquired Stauffer Realty in Ohio, which grew our Ohio base. So it's been really an exciting journey. And again, our main vision is continual growth. How do we grow? And we all know bricks and mortars isn't always the way it happens in real estate. It happens with agent count. So our focus on a day-to-day basis is our recruiting. My responsibility as a director of recruiting for the company is, firstly, to determine what are our needs, what's our goal, and how are we going to get there. And that is something I look at each and every day, using a variety of sources, but more importantly is the accountability, not just as the director to the owners, but to the managers as well. Looking what's their goals for the year, how are we going to get there? Constant communication with those managers because we need to be on the same page. Right. So again, as a director, it's sourcing, looking at the cost of that source. Is it viable? Is it bringing in what we want? Not just quantity, but quality. And then determining where would they best be matched. So I coordinate that candidate with the sales manager in that, we'll say ESA for lack of a better word, geographical area. Okay. At that point in time, it's a continual staying connected with the manager and also making sure the managers are accountable. And that piece of it can be a little tricky because not always are they going to be happy with me or any other recruiter out there because I do want accountability. Yeah. What happened? Why did that happen? Why weren't you there? So again, it's a great experience. It's a tremendous challenge, but I think we've worked through that because they have recognized so much success over and above the years past.
Right.
So It's just a team effort.
Yeah, no, I hear that, and I see that in your organization, that you are in essence leading a team. The team doesn't work for you directly, but it is a team of recruiting that keeps the recruiting engine going. So what are some of these metrics that you keep an eye on? I know that you're just driven by the numbers, which is super important. So what are some of the metrics that you kind of keep your eyes on, day to day?
I keep my eye on every source that we utilize in terms of whether it be print advertising, whether it be our career page, whether it be social networking, whether it be raving fans. As realtors, and I am a realtor, in a sense, and have had a license for many years. I try to look at what was successful this month and why. What wasn't successful in terms of the avenues that we generate leads from. Your company as well. And I look at cost, quality, quantity, and success. I think that we have to measure. Everything has to be measured, and inconsistency. And I also look at, wait a second here. We had a lot going out to this particular branch, but I'm not seeing this happen with that branch. So now it enables me, through tremendous support of the owner, the president, and the general managers, to say, guys, we have a problem. And there's a lot of respect and belief in each other's thinking, that there's trust. So it helps us not only to increase our success ratios, but also to help our management team.
Absolutely, I can see that, and I think sometimes when the metrics are the centerpiece, then a lot of the emotion gets taken out of it. I'm not saying that you're a bad manager. I'm not saying you're not
exactly
doing a good job. I'm just look at the numbers here. Here's how you compare to the next one. How do we get this fixed? So it's not a finger pointing sort of thing. It's more of a how do we get this fixed?
Yeah, and that's an easy fix because we have so many resources within the organization that can get there with that manager and tweak maybe one little thing that's going to make the difference. Right. And we do that on a regular basis. So I think that attributes to a lot of our success. And I feel a strong sense of accountability. I just don't put it on the team. It's on me as well. Right. So, Ben, I make a rotational calls to our management team. We've got 50 out there, and I make sure that I'm in the heart of that in terms of how's it going? What are you finding?
So you have a call list that you're going through with managers. So you're touching every single one of them on a very frequent basis.
Oh, absolutely. We have so much technology. We have email, we have text, but the power of the telephone builds the human touch. Yeah. And it helps me to know what are they really looking for? What makes that manager tick? So we've got accountability to the team and myself, certainly, to the owners and the team.
So just on a results basis then, how does this compare to how you're doing? We talked before, you hire generally 85% new agents, 15% experience. So how is it that you're compared to the other, this methodology that you use compared to other companies in your market? No naming names here, but just comparative on a percentage basis. How much of the new agent population do you capture using these methodologies?
We are number one in our marketplace in terms of new agent hires. Okay. We outperform every competitor in the marketplace. 1 out of every 3 new agents that come on board are Berkshire Hathaway staffer. So hands down, and I'll give you, for instance, we average about 40 new hires a month. Okay. I go through the MLS daily. And this is another little tool that I think has helped me to grow, is if I see one of our candidates was interviewed by one of our team, but I see they went to the competitor, I want to know why.
Okay.
Because I have such a belief in the brand and what we provide. So, there's no comparison. And I hate saying that. I don't want to sound as if there's no one better out there. There's more than one way to skin a cat.
Yeah.
But I do know numbers tell the story.
So if you're getting 35% in your marketplace of the new agents that are coming into the business, what's the next closest competitor? What percentage?
18%.
Okay. All right. So you do have some good competitors, but you are almost double as far as acquiring new agents in your marketplace compared to your nearest competitor.
Well, last year in 2021, we captured 33% of new hires in the marketplace. The next competitor had 18%. Okay. Then it went down to 14%. I look at the big players, they concern me, but this past year, the market, the industry is just crazy. We all know that. It's always been that way. Mm-hmm. So now I'm eyeballing some of these new guys that are coming on board. I want to know what's their story. What are they saying? So, it's just being able to understand the business and a lot of input from my team, our management team. We are continually communicating. I want to know what's out there. So I think all of the communication is always the key.
So let's switch gears a little bit. So to get a little more specific into the, how you make this work. And I think just from our discussions in the past, one of the things that you do better than almost any recruiter I've ever met is actually getting the appointment. So we know that appointments lead to hires. You don't want to hire everybody, but you do need to meet with a lot of people in order for this recruiting process to be successful. So how is it that you are so successful at getting appointments for your managers?
Well, I think it has a lot to do with key is our brand. Our brand says a lot. It lends credibility. You see our signs everywhere. Mm-hmm. In talking to the candidate, I think the best thing to do is the human touch there. I have to become this person that you're going to share with me. Why do you want to be here? What drove you to this conversation today? What's most important to you? Mm-hmm. I think the key closing statement to getting the appointment is this. I think in making any major decision in life, the more information you gather, the better decision you're going to make for you and your family. Mm. And then you decide, is this going to be what you're looking for? Are we what you're looking for? Now, how do you do that? I want to get you with our manager nearest you, mm-hmm. and I want them to walk you through a day in the life of real estate. I want them to walk you through what it takes to get that license, how we help you get there. And more importantly, I want you to make a list of questions that are key to both you and your family. Mm-hmm. And I want you to walk away from that interview with a clear sense, is this going to be my future? So now let's decide what's the best day and time. How's Thursday, Friday, Monday? You tell me, look at your schedule. And you can close on that, because I think when you focus on the candidate and you focus on, I want you to understand what this means, mm-hmm. and all the information that we can provide, I think it helps your show ratio and it helps the amount of appointments per candidate. So I think that's really critical. And then I tell them, now here's what you need to do. After you speak with that manager, I need you to do something for me. I need you to call me, text me, let me know what your thoughts were. People love to share their thoughts. Yeah. We all know that, myself included. So I think you leave that door open. You're always leaving the door open.
So let's, as we think about how to do that, and how to, so obviously the information that you're getting to them is important. What are the tools that you're using to communicate? Obviously, you're talking on the phone. Are there any other tools that you use pretty regularly? Every
tool that we have available in our arsenal. Okay. Texting is big today. I think it's taken over the email. People get so many, they don't pay attention. Texting, messaging. I join them. I'll say, oh, are you on Facebook?
Okay.
And I connect with them on Facebook. Say, well, I'm going to say hi to you. So, again, it's bringing the human touch in Technology is great. I think it helps us to move quicker, faster, better, but I don't think it's ever going to replace that actual conversation via the telephone.
Okay, so you say still that conversation on the telephone is actually the most important, and then maybe the second most important would be texting because it's just so available and people are on it all the time.
Exactly.
Okay, all right, good. Okay, well, as we wrap up today, these are super helpful guidelines here. So, what advice would you give, somebody who is, isn't operating at the scale that you're operating, doesn't maybe have the brand yet that you enjoy. If you were in a smaller office, a single office that had, 3 or 4 or 5 agents, and now you need to bring that, you need to hire some people. What advice would you give someone who's in that role?
Oh, I think that's a challenging, wonderful. I would love to be in that situation because I think it really challenges all of your thinking out of the box. We all have raving fans, every one of us, whether it be through friendships, relatives, agents within the office, organization, people you meet. When you have a raving fan, hey, can you help me out here? I need you to think of someone, friend, relative, neighbor, who has considered becoming a realtor or someone you think would be good as a realtor. Yeah. I always go to the raving. We talk about the sphere of influence. Use it as a recruiter. My other technique, and you know what, Ben, I still use this. I never hang up the phone without asking for a referral. With every candidate I talk to, because this new team methodology that it's crazing the industry right now, it's big. So you say to them, I love talking to you. Let me ask you something. Who do you know that's considering a new career? Who do you know that might be really good in real estate? You would not believe the number of recruits that I get to lower our cost and expand our base. Yeah. So I'm really big in the referral thing. Like I said, I do it with my candidates, but if I were in a small environment, oh my goodness, we can make that grow just from that particular avenue.
And the way you say it is so endearing, and I can almost hear you saying that. And if you said that to me, I would want to give you referrals. It's amazing.
You would. I know you would. I know you would, because there's always someone that real estate is a wonderful, wonderful industry, and it's one. The thought out there amongst the consumers is not really what the day in the life of is, but they love to talk about it. Yeah. They love to talk about real estate. And I think, that in itself helps us to grow. I've always learned if you call them, they will come.
Yeah. Well, Gina, thank you so much for joining us today and sharing the amazing details of your work. It's just you've passed on a ton of great things today, and I know our listeners are going to get out. And now for those you who are doing this, the hard work of recruiting, take what you learned today and go make a difference.